Hey guys, and welcome to this video here on the Kloppmann-electrics YouTube channel. My name is Emmanuel Knorr. I'm helping out in the marketing department of Kloppmann and I'm a Kloppmann artist. And today I want to teach you guys about, how to use pickups in metal guitar playing, because, there are so many things that you can do with pickups, especially if you have like guitars like this, which features 10 different pickup voicings, then there's much stuff to explore with pickups. And being a guitar teacher and lecturer for a couple of years now, I feel that many of my students are not aware of the power of their pickups, because most of the guitars that we play do have 2 or more pickups, and there's a good reason for that. Different pickups and different positions can produce very different sounds that might be useful in a couple of situations. Some guitar players even develop their signature sound because they use a certain pickup for a certain technique that they're doing all the time. Especially in heavy metal, there are some very interesting things that you can do with your pickups, and also in other genres, but I don't know too much about other genres, to be honest. So in today's clinic, we will focus on how to get the best out of your pickups in heavy metal music. I want to structure this workshop in 3 general types of playing. The first being lead guitar playing, the second being rhythm guitar playing, the third is clean tones in general. For now, I want to start with lead guitar playing because it's my favorite style of playing. I'm practicing and doing it all the time. And on my personal amp, which is right now a Blue Guitar Amp 1 Iridium Edition, I have 3 presets, clean, rhythm, lead guitar. And my lead guitar preset has the biggest amount of gain, so to say. Today I'm using this angle amp, which is property of Mr. Kloppmann, and it is plugged into one of these beautiful Marshall 4x12 cabinets. It sounds amazing. Right now we're obviously in the gain channel. The setting, the equalization is pretty neutral, so everything is kind of around 12 o'clock, and there's a boost function activated. So most of the time I'm using a very similar EQ setting on lead guitar and rhythm guitar, because when I'm going to the solo, I don't want it to sound too different. What I like to do for my lead guitar presets though is to boost the mids a little bit on the EQ of the amp if you have a multi-channel amp, or mostly using a boost pedal. This amp, as I said, has a boost mode built into it, so there's no need for a pedal. But personally, on my rig, I like to use an Ibis TS808 or TS9 tube screamer pedal because it has this boost of sustain and mids. Very joyful for lead guitar. This is how it sounds when I'm using the bridge pickup now. So it's a really good sound. I think it's so much fun to play it, and this is a very good platform, so to say, to work with your pickups. For lead guitar playing in metal, we need a sound that has much sustain, that has much compression, so that your notes will last long if you want them to. And generally, like a high gain sound has a pretty long attack phase, a pretty long decay phase, and by that the gap between the notes is very short, where a clean sound has more of a staccato feeling to it, and by that very long gaps between the notes. So what a sound like that with all that gain and the boost on top is doing is pretty much it's giving you a boost on fluidity of your playing. These pickups that I'm using on this guitar, by the way, are the brand new Kloppmann hammer and anvil set, which are based on a traditional PIF. Kloppmann is, I think one of the world's best PIF builders. But anyway, these pickups are based on these classic pickups, but they have a more focused voicing, a little more aggressive voicing on the higher end of the frequency band. So high mids and high frequencies are standing out, so to say, when you use these pickups, which is a very nice thing for lead guitar playing. And having an amp that produces so much gain, as I said, requires pickups that can handle that. These ones are amazing for that purpose. Also, they're pretty hot, so they will give you another boost on top. And personally, for most of what I am doing with lead guitar playing, I like to use the bridge pickup. For the reason that I feel it picks up the attack of your playing a little better, and I'm playing mostly like pretty aggressive. So when I'm playing things where I'm where I'm depending on the dynamic of my right hand and where I'm picking much from soft to very aggressive, I really like to use the bridge pickup because it takes up all the nuances. You know, if I'm playing like pentatonic licks like where I'm going from very aggressive downstrokes like to stuff like hybrid pickup. Also having pinch harmonics in there, it's just amazing to play on the bridge pickup. The bridge pickup generally has a little more high frequency focused voicing compared to the neck pickup. So it's definitely picking up all the aggression in your playing. Now, if I'm playing something that's more melodic, something like a melody, you want people to sing along in your live show, then I definitely like to use the neck pickup, something like and what I'm thinking about when I'm playing these type of licks with that pickup is iconic melodies from my favorite guitarists, like for example Slash. I'm a big fan of Slash, but not because of technicality and speed and things that I am personally into, but because of the sound and the feel that he is kind of transferring to the listener with his playing. So solos like stuff like that, where there's just a very simple melody going on. It's basically 3 notes, the main motive. And if I would play that on a bridge pickup, it would still be an amazing melody that you could sing along, but as I said, it's picking up the aggression in my playing a bit, which makes it definitely sound like more dynamic. But in this case, I don't want the aggression to be picked up. But what I want to have is this creamy, might be the right word, this creamy, kind of milky sound that is just perfect for singing lines like that one. Now, if you have a guitar like this, which is, by the way, an Ibanez RG from the premium range, you might also have the opportunity to coil tap your pickups. So this guitar has a 5-way switch, so it has like bridge humbucker, bridge single coil. Then we got the middle position where both of the humbuckers are active. Then we got neck single coil. And then we got neck humbucker. And on top we even got this voicing switch that is activating different, voicing and combinations of coils. But anyway, what I want to say is, if you have pickups like that with rather high output, then they also sound very good if you're using coil tapping. And, there are some metal guitarists that use single coil and loaded guitars. Generally, like, metal is a pretty humbucker dominated genre, but, guitar players like Ritchie Blackmore, Yngwie Malmsteen are, iconic single coil metal guitarists. And pretty much, if I would use my single coils now, I would kind of apply the same set of thoughts to single coil based playing. So if I'm playing riffs like something like that, the aggression of the bridge pickups picked up because, again, compared to the neck pickup, also for single coils, it has a more high frequency range focused sound, and for lead guitar playing, and especially when I'm doing like melodic things, then I would use the neck pickup. Now, talking about guitar players like Richie and Yngwie, we are now entering shred guitar territory, which is, something that is not exclusively metal, because there are also like fusion guys and, people like that who play very fast, which shredding kind of means. But, talking about shred guitar, there are a couple of more techniques that you might use in your playing. So things that Yngwie is using all the time is sweep picking, which is, the same as economy picking. It basically means that you're choosing the fastest way to the next string. So where alt-type picking, that you guys might know, is kind of, downstroke, upstroke all the time. With economy picking, you can have 2 downstrokes in a row, you can have 2 upstrokes in a row, whatever is the fastest way to the next string. So if you do that with just like with arpeggios and things that just require 1 note on a string, then you will have a sound like this, which is very much what Yngwie is doing all the time. And for that, he mostly uses the neck pickup as well. We just said that the bridge pickup sounds a little more aggressive, and you can also play things like that on the bridge. But the smoothness of the neck pickup is something that sounds just very good on shredding. And personally, for me, not only the sound, but also the feel is very important when I'm playing. So if you're feeling comfortable as you're playing, you kind of play better. And I feel that, this is kind of a myth probably, and there's no objective basis on what I'm about to say now, but shredding on the neck pickup feels a little easier. You don't have all the nuances picked up, like every pick stroke, every noise that you may be producing that is not on purpose, like an open spring or whatever, some scratching, is picked up stronger on the bridge pickup. Because the neck pickups, sound a little more muddy in general and a little more bass focused, right? So all these unwanted noises that might make you sound sloppy in the end, are not as strong as on the neck pickup as they are on the bridge pickup. So if you want to have another fluidity boost, then you might be, you just might feel more comfortable when you're playing the neck with the neck pickup. And this is not only the case for singing coil users, but also for humbucker users, right? So if we now switch from the neck singing coil setting to the neck humbucker setting, the same thing kind of happens. So if when I'm using techniques like sweeping, and now compare it to the bridge humbucker, it sounds a little smoother on the neck pickup, which might be preferable in some situations. All right, now for techniques like, not like 1 note per string picking, like sweep picking, but things like alt-type picking or economy picking in a more, scale-based context. There are a couple of different things that you might want to do. And as I said in the beginning, there are like different guitarists that use different pickup positions as a part of their style and identity. And when I'm thinking about, fast picking and, pickup choices for that, I'm always thinking about like Paul Gilbert and John Petrucci, because both of them are amazing guitarists, that's for sure, but they have a very different sound. While Paul Gilbert always has a very aggressive sound in his picking, especially like the 90s Paul Gilbert, John Petrucci always has this more like smooth sound in his playing. And this is like not only because maybe like differences in their technique and things like that, but also because of their sound and of their pickups. When John Petrucci is picking, and this is not all the time, but most of the time, when he's playing very fast picking runs, he tends to use the neck pickup. So it sounds like this. Right, so when Paul Gilbert would do the same thing, he would mostly use the bridge pickup, which sounds like. So depending on what sound I want to achieve, I need to adjust my pickup choice. Personally, for me, when I'm playing on the high strings, I mostly want to have that bite in the sound and that aggressiveness. So licks like, which is literally like the first lick of Paul Gilbert's Intense Rock. Then I mostly prefer to use the bridge pickup, the bridge humbucker, because of that, that, as I said, the aggressive and high frequency focused character. Now, when I'm playing long and big runs, like this, for example, then I like to use the neck pickup. So it always depends on what you want to achieve, but both choices, just produce very different sounds that you might want to have in different situations. Now, let's move on from staccato playing to legato playing, or hammer-ons and pull-offs on the guitar. So legato is actually my favorite technique on the guitar, and for legato playing, I personally like to use the bridge pickup most of the times. This is because legato is generally a very smooth technique. And by reducing the amount of picking that we do, we also reduce the amount of noises that the pickup might pick up. And being a very smooth technique on its own, I feel that if I'm using the neck pickup, I'm not able to produce the dynamics that I want. This is for my technique, for my personal approach, and there are some guitar players like Rick Graham that use the neck pickup sometimes for legato that can achieve amazing results. But I feel that this is like the general characteristic of legato, being very smooth, and there's, for the sound that I want to achieve, no need to put an extra layer of smoothness on top by using the neck pickup. So when I'm playing legato, I'm playing hybrid picking mostly, which means that I'm using the pick and my middle finger to pluck the strings. So I can, by picking hard, by using the pick or the finger, I can add a certain amount of dynamic to this very smooth technique. Also by muting the strings sometimes, you can also add some dynamic. And I feel that the bridge pickup picks that up a little better. So if I'm now playing legato with the bridge pickup, it would sound like this. And when I'm trying to utilize some more techniques like muting, I feel that this is just amazing sounding with the bridge pickup. Now if I'm doing the same kind of technique with the neck pickup, it would sound like this. Sounding super smooth, especially on the low strings. They are a little more bass focused. This pickup is a little more bass focused. So where there's much bass, there's much smoothness, so to say, kind of. But this is just how it sounds. As with all of these techniques and these, and as with everything that I'm saying in this clinic, it comes down to your personal preference. So I'm not saying that this is better or this is better. I'm just saying that this is how it sounds, and that you should be aware of what you want to achieve. And if you are aware of what you want to do with your pickups, then you will get the best results. Also, there are some guys that play legato much on single coils. I think that's mostly fusion guys. Like I think that people like, for example, Tom Quayle, that also use hybrid picking, much more complex legato patterns than I do, but they mostly use their neck single coil, which produces sounds like this. Which gives that twang to it, kind of, which is very joyful sometimes if you want to have that, especially when you're doing hyper. Then this twang is something that you don't want to miss, I guess. And if I'm now playing it on the single coil, it would sound like this. Which makes me automatically, incorporate muting into my legato playing because it's just so nice sounding on a bridge pickup. Alright, so we covered most of the techniques for lead guitar playing in metal. Now let's move to rhythm guitar playing for a while. Let me quickly turn off the boost because I like to have a little lower amount of gain for metal guitar, though it's still a high gain sound clearly. So metal guitar playing, at least classic metal guitar playing, is pretty much bridge pickup all the way. If I'm playing power chords and mostly in the low register of the fretboard on the neck pickup, then it would sound very muddy. And there's not enough attack, so to say, which is required to get your metal riffs to sound very aggressive. But when I'm switching to the bridge pickup, it sounds just a little more like open, it sounds a little more aggressive, more dynamic. So these are things that we want to have for our metal riffing and generally like rhythm guitar playing. Now for more modern metal playing and some subgenres of metal like gent or some crossover mixes like fusion metal or things like that, there might be something else that you might want to do. Also, I see guys using single coils more and more all the time, not only for playing but also for riffing, and that's something that you should still experiment with if you feel like. This is focusing on more traditional and classic metal. So from the 80s up to right now, all thrash metal, death metal, heavy metal, and all these more classic metal genres, all of them use bridge humbuckers most of the time for the riffing, because when you're playing very slow and chugging riffs, it's so compressed, it feels so powerful, but at the same time it's still a very open sounding way of playing. As I said, you have a little more like high frequency focused sound on bridge pickup, which is definitely supporting your riffing here. Same as for like open chords. Guys like John Petrucci from Dream Theater, they play these open string chords, which is definitely something where you need the bridge pickup for. It has so much definitions that even though playing with, even when you're playing with a high gain sound like this, that you can still hear all the notes of a chord. And when I'm playing the same thing on the neck pickup now, this is an amazing pickup, so this is not fair. No, just joking. But it's still, you might still sound, you might still hear all the notes, and it might still be a sound with a certain amount of definition, but this is just higher on the bridge pickup. Now, there are some situations where you really need the bridge pickups in rhythm guitar playing. And this is when you're playing fast rhythms on low strings. Especially in genres like thrash metal, you have these types of rhythms all the time. the next thing where you definitely need the bridge pickup is when you want to have harmonics. Things like natural harmonics that you want to incorporate into your riffing. The last thing I was doing was a pinch harmonic that, also sounds better on a bridge pickup. And also, sometimes bands like Machine Head use these natural harmonics. Which is, basically the same thing as. So all of these harmonics are stronger on the bridge pickup. Now let's cover the last section of this click, which is clean sounds in metal. So let me switch to the clean channel. So with my bridge humbucker, the clean channel sounds like this. Personally, for clean tones in metal, I prefer the sound of a single coil. When we're riffing in metal with distortion, then everything is on 11 o'clock. You're just playing very aggressive and very powerful. But when there are clean sections, it's mostly the calm part of the song. And a single coil has this glassy sound. It sounds a little thinner, which is actually something that supports this calmness of these parts. And my favorite sound for that would be the neck single coil. So it would sound like this. Especially things like that, like these arpeggiated open chords, also again something that John Petrucci is doing all the time, is something that sounds just amazing on the single coil. I also really like neck pickups in general. It could also be the neck humbucker, not necessarily the neck single coil, because it comes closer to an acoustic guitar, because an acoustic guitar, at least I connect that with a more bass focused sound. So now talking about these techniques. When I'm playing things that require more strumming, then I tend to use bridge pickups. I just said that neck pickups sound closer to an acoustic guitar, and acoustic guitars, the go-to guitar for strumming, but I feel that this more focused bass range is kind of, exaggerated on that. So for a bridge single coil, which is just something that sounds amazing in my ears. And whenever I have like an intro or an interlude or something where I need this type of sound, then this is my go-to choice. And also the bridge humbucker mode might be useful in some situations, and, because it has this glassy sound. It always reminds me of again Slash or Jimmy Page, and also for strumming, but mainly for simple chords that you are arpeggiating. Alright, so we covered lead guitar, we covered rhythm guitar, we covered clean guitar, pretty much the classic sounds for metal guitar playing. Again, I want to say that none of these things are set in stone, and everything is legit. If you want to play chugging riffs on a neck single coil and you think that it sounds good, go for it. I'm not going to say that you shouldn't do it. All I'm saying is that these are A, my preferences, and B, kind of the common ground, classic starting points. And once you got these down, you can move on from there and explore whatever you want to explore. There's so much stuff that still needs to be discovered, and maybe you are the one that is going to do it. Alright guys, that's it for today. I really hope that you liked this video and that we might see us again here on the Kloppmann-electrics YouTube channel. If you have any suggestion about another video or anything else that you want to see on this channel, then just feel free to leave a comment down there and do it whatever you like, and we'll try to get it covered. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Goodbye.